Hello there, Ray here. I'm joined by Activation as well as Extra. And today guys, we're going to be showing you this quick gold farm which allows you to get tons of gold as well as XPs. And you never have to worry about this thing breaking. All you have to do is show up and it just starts producing XPs as well as gold. The farm is quite simple. We just have a spawning platform around here. We either have a Zogling or Iron Golem. So this farm can work in versions like 1.14, 15, and even 1.16 and above. It'll work great for those people that are going ahead and taking their 1.15 world and updating them to 1.16. So make sure to go ahead and tell your favorite Minecrafters about this amazingly simple gold and XP farm. Platform is pretty simple. You can see everything there is to it, just a bunch of magma blocks. Underneath, there's really not that much to it. We just got a drop-down chute. There's 2 drop-down chutes and then just a player AFKing. Everything else underneath of here is optional. All in all, a quick gold farm you guys can set up within a matter of minutes. And whenever you want to run it, you just come down here, hop in like Activation is doing. You don't need to do anything else special. You don't need to turn on any levers or anything like that. It just starts producing you gold as well as XPs. And it never breaks, which is amazing. So this is the second version of our quick gold farm. The original design was by Extra, who used the Iron Golem in the center to kind of re-aggro the pigmen whenever they would de-aggro. That's exactly what we got going on here. We got pigmen which are trying to be attracted to this pearl egg, which right here. As soon as they get close to it, the Zogling or Iron Golem, they both work exactly the same. They can reach out pretty far and hit the zombified piglins. This will make them mad and then become aggroed, and then all the ones in the area will run towards it, try to attack the Zogling or Iron Golem. Instead, they'll end up falling down these trapdoors. They fall into lava, which just gives them time so that they will produce XPs when they die. If you kill them immediately, there's a bug where they don't give you XPs. So that just slows them down a little bit, and then by the time they hit the ground, they will produce XPs as well as all the loot that you get from zombified piglins. And you can see the player just stands right here, and you can see the zombified piglins falling on both sides of him and just dropping XPs, and the XPs go right into the player where the items are being picked up and put into chest. This is all optional. You can choose to either sort the items or just put it into a large storage. There's really not that much to the farm. As you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory. The hardest thing about this farm is probably getting the turtle egg or the iron golem, and I'll explain how you guys can get those later in the video. The quick gold farm produces over 11,000 pigmen spawns per hour. This is equivalent to close to 11,000 items per hour. Plus you get all the XPs. It actually produces more XPs than a enderman farm does. And you don't even have to kill the enderman to get these. You just stand here and all the XPs come to you while being AFK. When you build up this farm, you don't have to put in a bunch of satellite pigmen out on the outside to keep the pigmen aggroed. They will constantly be re-aggroed by the Zogling in the center or the Iron Golem. So it makes it very quick and easy to build up, as this is the only entity you need to put in here, and I'll show you guys how easy that can be to put in like an Iron Golem. And you never have to worry about the farm breaking because this guy will constantly be mad and always be attacking any zombified piglins that come near him. And you also don't need to like turn off the farm or anything. All you have to do is when you're done with your AFK session, you just leave, and if you want to come back for more XPs, you just come in here and it just starts up immediately. You don't have to do anything special. The only downside to using a Iron Golem or a Zogling to aggro these guys is they're going to be mad at this guy, and therefore they won't be considered a player kill when they die. So you won't get that low chance of getting a gold ingot. You will still get all the gold nuggets. Now you can either use an Iron Golem or a Zogling in here. They're both pretty much the exact same size. And they both can reach out quite far to attack the zombified piglins without them being able to attack back. The difference is that these guys do less damage. Therefore, when they aggro the pigmen, they're unable to actually kill them, where Iron Golem does have a chance of accidentally killing the pigmen and having their drops end up here instead of down where the player is. I'll give you guys a quick rundown of how to build this up and some of the steps that you can take to kind of make it easier. If you guys want to kind of look at it in more detail, make sure to check out the world download, which is always linked down below in the description. So first off, you want to choose the area that is all of the nether wasteland. So we pull up F3, we can see right here where my cursor is, it says nether waste. And this is the biome that you want to build up this farm. So you kind of just want to scan around the area where you're going to be building this, making sure that it says another waste. And you can do this checking at the very bottom, like on the top of the bedrock. You can check to see if it's this type of biome, because it should pretty much be the same biome all the way throughout. And make sure you actually do check, because if you update your world from like 1.15 to 1.16, it is possible that they will change the biome, even though none of the blocks will actually visually change. So you could have some place that looks like a normal place in your nether dimension, you update to 16, all of a sudden it turns into a soul sand valley. And it's going to have like the particle effects and everything that go with it, just not the blocks. The farm is about 4 chunks by 4 chunks, so this is a chunk. We can pull this up by doing F3 plus G. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then for this way. So it's kind of a good area to plan out where you're going to build this. You also want to kind of build it close to a crimson forest if you want to use the hoglin turned into a zogling in the center. If you're going to use the iron golem, you can pretty much put it anywhere because you can summon those in. And the reason why I want crimson forest nearby because that is where the hoglins will spawn, making it a lot easier to transport a zogling into your farm. So first thing you want to do is get above the nether ceiling, and I have a great video showing a few different methods that allows you to do this quite easily. And once you get above the nether ceiling, then you can put up another portal here that will link to overworld. And I have a different video going into how you can do that, all the details with that. So make sure you check out those videos. So once you do get above the nether, as well as you have your nether portal will make it a lot easier to access your farm. You don't have to go to the bedrock each time. If you want to, you can break the bedrock. And I'll link a video down below which goes into how you do that. So now you have a great way to get up to your farm where you want to build it. Now you have to choose the right location. You also want to choose a good spot for your gold farm where there is no caves underneath. This is because mobs are able to spawn 128 meters from where the player is AFKing, and since the player is AFKing down below, it means that mobs are able to spawn 128 blocks below us. So if I just teleport myself down this low, you can see right about here is how far the game will attempt to try to spawn mobs. So from the top of the bedrock, which is right here, all the way down to here, you want to make sure that there is no caves or any type of land down here. We'll make sure it's nice and solid. And it is a big sphere, so you can kind of check around about 30 blocks in each direction. You can also fill in the areas if you don't want mobs to spawn in with like buttons or slabs. That way all the mobs that do try to spawn will be forced into your farm up above. And once you have chosen a good spot to build up your farm, you want to come up here to the very, very top of the world. So if we look with F3 plus G, this blue line here is the highest point in which Minecraft world allows you to place blocks. So if I place a block here, it works. I can't place any blocks above this. So this is the height where you want to have your slabs. 1 block, 2 block gap here, and then we have our magma block. So this, if you look at it, is at Y level. Currently looking at Y level 252. So that's where those blocks are sitting at. Now we're ready to build this very large platform made out of magma blocks. Now, magma blocks are actually widely available in the nether dimension. You just scroll down here to the very, very bottom of the world. Kind of go somewhere where there's near a lava lake. You can see all of the magma blocks. There might be like 100 magma blocks in each of these kind of formations here. So there's just so many stinking magma blocks in this dimension, and they mine up extremely easy. So I think within a matter of 1 or 2 minutes, you can actually attain all the blocks needed to build this entire farm. Now, the dimensions of this platform don't have to be too specific, so don't get too bent over the exact measurements of everything. As long as you have a pretty decent shape that's kind of circular, you will do just fine. If you want to get really precise, you can put an exact circle here. I made this kind of squarish circle just to make it easy for you guys to build up. You don't have to do all those weird curvatures. I went ahead and wrote all the dimensions of each of these sides. So it's 28 meters worth of magma blocks from the outside edge all the way to the edge of this. And this here is a 5x5 area that we kind of dedicate for either the zogling or the iron golem. So you have 28 meters worth of that. Then this here is 25 meters wide. This side here is 7 meters. We also got this side, which is 11 meters. And then it just keeps repeating. This is 11, 7, 25, and it goes around the whole way. So if you first come around and kind of just do an outline around the whole thing, then you can easily fill it in without having to do very much measuring. That's the way I would do at least. Then you want to come up here and just place in some slabs. Make sure these are bottom slabs. Just make sure they're not like this. Make sure they are on the bottom. That way no mobs will spawn on top of here. Plus zombies, since zombies can spawn inside this farm due to reinforcement calling, they could be placed on top of a solid surface up here, even if it's glass. So make sure you do use bottom slabs. And you just want these rows to be starting from the edge of the farm and then move across with 2 air gaps just to save on materials. This is just to prevent magma cubes from spawning. And this prevents magma cubes from spawning in here, so you won't get any of those whatsoever clogging up the farm. And then we got these scattered across the entire thing. Make sure if you come to edge like this, you want to make sure there's always a slab adjacent to a spawning spot or right above it. So if this was missing, then there wouldn't be a slab adjacent to this. So you do need these slabs here to prevent stuff from spawning on the very edge here. And you can see it's pretty simple pattern. Just go across the entire thing. It don't matter what type of materials you use to make these slabs. But the magma blocks are important because that will prevent endermen from spawning in here. Since mobs that are only resistant to fire can actually spawn on top of magma blocks. Remember, come in here and make sure to put these little flanges in here. This is to prevent the Zogling from throwing the pigment up too high. Otherwise, you can just kind of keep tacking the same one over and over again until it dies. This way, like the pigment only gets like knocked back a little bit and then he just ends up falling down the hole before he can attack again. So after you got this platform built in, now you just have to work on the center area here. This is where we're going to hold either the Zogling or the Iron Golem. See, it's pretty simple. We got some cobble walls going around the outside. We got two openings that are exactly the same. The trapdoor here. Don't worry too much about the center because we'll kind of change that up when we actually get the Zogling or Iron Golem in there. The drop chutes are pretty simple. You can pretty much see everything from here. We have this little gap here. Otherwise, what happens is this cobble wall can stick to this. And if you're standing here, you can actually kind of get slightly like raised up inside of there. Baby zombified piglins can actually get standing on that. And the gap doesn't affect anything since the babies can't fall through there. And we also have some cobble walls in here. This is what's going to either hold the Zogling or the Iron Golem. They're pretty much the same size, so they work very well, and they both reach out far enough to hit them without the pigmen hitting back. Then we have a drop chute. This is just to prevent the pigmen from kind of falling outside the area. Really important is to have the lava that's 2 blocks tall in here. It's just one source that's flowing downwards. Then we have something to hold it up. You can either use like banners, signs, or you can even use the new fence gates. The purple ones or the bluish ones will not burn. And that is to make sure that the pigmen have enough time to be considered aggro and therefore they will drop their XPs. The lava is located 2 blocks underneath this trapdoor. If you put it at other heights, they can kind of fall and just stand on it and keep bouncing on it. The cobble walls on both sides just make this opening a little bit bigger so that pigmen can kind of funnel in easier, especially if there's a bunch of that all come at once. They can kind of come in here 2 by 2 if they want to. And the drop chute just goes downwards. And let's see the top of this, right where the magma blocks are at. This is Y level 252. And then if they fall through the lava all the way down to the ground, this trapdoor is at Y level 222. So keep that in mind when you're building. You want it far enough so they actually die when they hit the ground. We have a trapdoor in here just to prevent like XPs from getting stuck into the hoppers. You could use a wooden trapdoor, doesn't matter. Then we also have some hoppers on either side just to pick up any loot that kind of falls off to the side, as well as this direction. We have an opening here that's big enough to let the XPs go through while not allowing anything else to go through. If there happened to be a zombie here, a baby zombie that wouldn't be able to fit through there, you can see the player is able to reach XPs. There's the exact same thing on this side as well. We do have the player kind of enclosed with a door. Do remember that zombies of any type can break down doors, and one way you can avoid that is by putting in the door sideways and then closing it, so they technically think this door is open and they won't break it. But it's always good to encase the player so that nothing comes by accidentally kills them while you're AFKing. Everything else down here is optional. This is just some automatic sorting to sort out the different items that come off of the farm. We have sorters here. Main things you can get off of this is the gold nuggets as well as the rotten flesh. So we have some simple sorters here to do that, and some extra ones if you want to add anything else in the future. We also have a system here which pulls out all the gold sores, because those will be the only thing that are left after everything else is sorted. And the gold sores are placed down here into a furnace or a blast furnace. And that way you can turn all those broken swords you get off of these guys into actual nuggets. So you get more gold nuggets out of it, and then the nuggets are going to be taken back over here and placed into this chest here. So I'll show you guys how to put it either in the Iron Golem or the Zogling. So first up is the Iron Golem. You can't use a Snow Golem because the Snow Golem will die here in the Nether dimension. So for the Iron Golem, you want to go down 1 and put in a button down here. That way nothing can spawn on top of that block. You need to put a T shape in for the Iron Golem. So just like so. Be placed sideways and then a carved pumpkin there. It'll drop right down there. Perfect spot where it needs to be. Now you just need to put these trapdoors back in. They do need to be placed up against a power source because currently he's occupying this space. So we put in a trapdoor just like this. Make sure to aim at the bottom of it. And that's perfect. Do the same thing on this side. Power source of some sort. Click on the bottom. Remove that. There. So now you got your Iron Golem. So Iron Golem is definitely the easiest to do. And there's also a trapdoor above him. That's mostly for the Zogling, but it can also help you place in the turtle egg. The turtle egg goes right on top of there. If you guys don't know how to get turtle egg, I did a video going over how you can make like a turtle farm and how to get turtle eggs and breed up turtles to get eggs that you can actually move around. As long as you don't put it on top of a sand block, it should not try to hatch. So if there is a sand block underneath it, it will hatch over time. That's how you get the Iron Golem in. The only downside to having an Iron Golem is you can sometimes kill them, so they accidentally drop their loot up here instead of down below. But Zogling does less damage, so he's unable to actually really kill them up here. So next I'll show you guys how to get a zoglin in here. We'll get rid of this guy. Very similar thing, you have the same kind of trapdoor set up. You don't have to put him in the minecart if you don't want to, but we do need to move the floor up because he's a little bit shorter. We move the floor up to here, put a button on it, he'll be standing right there. You won't be able to escape because these walls here are 1.5 blocks tall, so they're actually half a block tall over here. Won't be able to move around, he won't be able to jump up because the trapdoor is keeping him down. The easiest way to get the zoglin up here is to just make a portal, and we'll just make him come out of a portal, and it'll end up pretty much exactly where we want him. You want to put it kind of close, you don't have to go too far with the guy, and you kind of want to keep it in case so that he doesn't run off and start attacking other things. Let's go to wall off like the backside because you don't want him to go that direction. And he'll come out of this portal, and you want him to get taken over into this spot of the farm. You want to keep everything kind of open so you can move from the portal over into here quite easily. Essentially, you want him to like kind of stand right here, pushing up against this, and you want to be on top of this, and then you can open this trapdoor, and then he will be able to go falling down into this little spot here. So this needs to be all opened up, and we want to transport him from that portal over into this spot. Just make a little opening, and we give him a little spot to walk. We want to walk up here and walk into this area here. So now you just go through this portal, and you want to make sure that the portal on the other side is pretty much in the correct coordinates except for the Y level. Let's go ahead and go through it. If you guys aren't sure how to link portals up properly, the Minecraft Wikipedia does a great job at doing those type of explanations. They came out through a portal, doesn't really matter where you end up, as long as the coordinates are close to where the other one is. Let's go back through it again, and yes, it does link up. Want to check that out? Now it's time to actually get the hoglin, which will convert over to a zoglin. You want to go over to a nearby dimension where there's a crimson forest where hoglins will spawn. Now you can use leads on hoglins, but they will attack you in survival. I recommend trying to go after one of the little guys. They don't do as much damage. So if you find one like this, just make sure you get rid of the adult first. And this guy, he will try to attack you. He does do small amounts of damage, about half a heart each time. So keep that in mind. They're pretty persistent. So with this guy, you want to get him as close as possible to underneath of where your farm is at. So here is the bottom of my farm. If I go just downwards, go ahead and mark it with this trapdoor. And if we go underneath of that, keep track of these coordinates. So somewhere around here is a good spot to move the baby hoglin over. And this is where we'll send him over through a portal into the overworld. We have a portal lit, and now we just need to lure him over here. They are aggressive, so they will chase after you. So it's good to find a spot that's pretty easy to transport the baby hoglin across. And yeah, you just lure him over here, and you want him to go inside of the nether portal. If you want to, you can use a lead on him so he doesn't get distracted. Come over here. There you go. Now he's on the other side. Once you get him over here, you just want to leave him here and go ahead and close him off. He will convert over, and then we'll eventually get ready to send him over into other dimension. Because right now, if you go through this portal, it's going to take you down here. So if we remove this portal, you have to go back up to the portal that you have at the very top. This portal, if you go through this one, it should lead us back to where the baby is at. So you go through here. There, you can see him. I do want to give them enough room so they don't suffocate. Give them plenty of room because if they grow up, they will suffocate. Now we want to get this guy into this portal over here. They do have a lot of health, so you don't have to worry about they lose a little bit of health, but you do want to kind of make it so he can't escape, and he's just kind of forced to go into the portal. If I put a block there, he should pathfind into the portal. There he goes. So if we go into this portal as well, he should be on the other side. So kind of be careful. They can hit pretty harsh. You can see he's already in the farm. You want to make sure to go ahead and open that trapdoor so he can move that direction. It looks like he's currently trying to come after us. You can kind of put a wall in right here, and then what we can do is go to the opposite side of him and just kind of push him. Make sure you have a pretty good back there with cobble walls so you can push him against it. Now you just want to push him over to the center of it. Now with him on that side, you can replace this with cobble walls. This will just allow you to align him better. So as soon as he kind of comes into this corner, he should fall down, and then once he gets underneath this trapdoor, he won't be able to go back up again since he's currently inside of it. You can't be really stubborn. If you have too much trouble, you can go ahead and use pistons, but it looks like he is now in there. So he's underneath this trapdoor, so he shouldn't be able to get out. Then you come in and you can remove this. These are just used to kind of align him. So you shouldn't be able to escape that. Now you can kind of fix up the area, everything that you kind of broke, just replace. You want to make sure to put these trapdoors clicking on the bottom of each of these blocks. That way when you open them, they're sitting like this, just like so. That way nothing will accidentally end up down in that little teeny ledge there. These trapdoors on the side aren't really that important, as the zombified piglins are going to try to pathfind in this direction, not over here. We can remove those. This is what it should look like when you're done. You can have this one either open or closed, it doesn't matter. You can see he is completely encased, he's not able to escape. Then make sure to remember to put in your turtle leg up above. The zoggling can be a little more problematic to get into a location compared to Iron Golem. They get slightly higher rates, and if you're like really cheap, it might be easier to get a zoggling than to get enough iron to make an Iron Golem. Now if you need iron for the Iron Golem, made a quick Iron Golem farm, which takes a matter of a couple minutes to set up, and it produces a lot of iron. You can find that linked below. Now it is important to go ahead and name tag the zoggling. Probably do this right away, that way it doesn't despawn, because these guys can despawn. Now in the newer versions they have the piglins, which do barter with gold and give you a lot of amazing stuff. I'll be making a separate video going over how you can make an infinitely automatic system that allows you to automatically barter with the piglins. Thanks to Asquaredrt who helped me design this farm here, as well as Activation, who's the one that helped me test it as well as design it. And they both do technical Minecraft videos, so make sure to check out their channels linked below. Random G Games also joined us during the build of this, and he has a very cool gold farm of his own, which you can find on his channel. It's actually used by Iskall on the Hermitcraft server, and he calls it the Poor Man Gold Farm, and that one allows you to get the gold ingots. So if you want to do more of a player aggro one, make sure to check out his linked below. We also designed this during our snapshot stream, so you guys, the viewers, actually join in the build of this. Thanks to everyone who joined. It was a lot of fun building the first one as well as this one, the second version. In the world download, it will be in version 1.15, so you guys can update it to whatever version you're currently playing on. And remember guys to leave a like on the video as well as share this with your favorite Minecrafter. And if you guys enjoyed simple farms like this, I have an entire playlist which you can find down below that has over 100 videos about different types of farms for your very own Minecraft worlds. They're all quite simple. We'd like to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.